Hey, it's ScienceCook11, and with SAO starting up again, I'm doing a recap on all the LEGO Sword Art Online minifigures that I've made. So, I guess I'll start with Alicization. First off, Yu-Gi-Oh! I think I may have made his eyes a bit too big, but him with big sweet eyes is pretty fitting anyway, so don't think it's much of a problem that his eyes got made too big. Plus the hair kind of covers it up. And the Blue Rose Sword. I've done a tutorial on how I make custom LEGO swords, but if you haven't seen that, I'll just quickly go over how this and most of the other ones here are made. So I take katana pieces, straighten them out by pressing them like that until they get into a more or less straight shape, and then I cut the ends of them into more of a point instead of a curve. Details like that added on with tape. So the Blue Rose Sword is probably the second favorite LEGO sword that I've made. When it comes to sword designs in general, Elucidator is one of my favorite of all time, not just within SAO, but just in general. But when it comes to the LEGO swords I've made, the Blue Rose Sword and the Night Sky Sword are definitely some of my favorites. Kirito's Alicization outfit. I have just one head for all of these, so I swapped the heads around on them, but that would take a bit more time to be doing. Well, I guess I can do it with Kirito, not Asuna, though. It'll be harder with Asuna. So just one head to swap around since it's the same face and hair on all these. So there was no point in making duplicates of the exact same head. That would be harder anyway to get it to look exactly the same as the one I already made. So here's Alicization Kirito with the Night Sky Sword. Now I'd also have to swap the hands for these, so I'm not going to bother with it. On these ones, Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh's Ruled Village tunics, or yeah, they're tunics. Same things, but with color swaps. So these ones were very simple to make. So next, the Alfheim minifigures. These ones are much older and they need to be updated because the faces on them look terrible. So first off, Alfheim Kirito. Face needs to be completely redone. The reason I can't use the same Kirito head as the other is because his Alfheim avatar has a different eye color and I think slightly different eye shape. So it wouldn't work to just use the same head. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't look as accurate. The body on this one is more or less fine. I don't think that needs to really be updated much. Alfheim Asuna, this one needs to be completely remade. Just everything on it needs to be remade, so I'm not going to show it too long. There's not much reason when it doesn't look that good. Eventually, I'll probably update these. Leafa also needs to be completely remade. Face, hair, everything. If you block out the face, then they look a bit more decent. The most iconic Kirito design, the black worm coat. So Lucidator is the only one here that was not made out of a katana piece. This was made out of a Knight's Kingdom, I think that's what it was called, sword piece. But more details on how exactly I made that one in the sword tutorial video. I'm pretty sure I talked about how I made a Lucidator in that. So overall, this is my favorite Kirito design, but not the favorite of the ones that I've made, because it was just so hard to get it to come out looking clean. Now, Asuna's head is going to be a bit harder to move around, so I'm not going to put it onto this body. So the iconic Knights of the Blood Oath Asuna design. So also, well, for this one, it's the reverse. This is not my favorite Asuna design overall, that is, but of the ones that I've made, it's my favorite, since it came out looking much better than the other ones. So the lambent light, forget what this piece is called, but handguard, I think. Handguard was made from taking a little Technic piece and cutting it in half. That took a long time to get it cut in half because those things are so durable. Moving the Kirito head one last time. So for my favorite Kirito minifigure that I've made, and then favorite Asuna design overall, favorite Asuna design overall, the early Aincrad designs for them. So these only got very minimal time shown in the anime, but it's the outfits they used for most of the early floors of Aincrad in the Progressive Novel series. So Kirito, they only showed this coat for like 1 minute at the end of episode 2 of season 1, but he uses it for a long time in all the early floors of Aincrad. So while it's not my favorite of his designs in general, it is my favorite of the ones that I've made because of how it came out. And then Asuna's early Aincrad design is not the exact one she had in the anime, because that was her floors 1 to 3 design, I think. or 1 to 4, and then on the 3rd or 4th floor, she switched over to a more red and black version of it. So that's all my LEGO SAO minifigures. One day I'll probably get around to updating the Alfheim minifigures. And if there's any character from SAO or any other series that you want me to make specifically, then check the description for a link to Twitter, and then you can commission me to make whatever character it is that you want on Twitter. So, see you next time!